Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. As Nigeria inches closer to the 2027 elections, the battle for the soul of the People's Democratic Party has taken center stage. With the elective national convention now barely 3 months away, questions over zoning, internal democracy and unity are once again threatening to tear the PDP apart. Today, a consultative meeting of Southern PDP leaders in Lagos, attended by governors, former governors and party elders, including Chief Bode sparked a fierce backlash. The meeting we hear was called to determine elective positions for the PDP National Convention to be held on 15th and 16th of November. But rival bloc of Southern leaders, including state chairmen and National Assembly members, has dismissed the Lagos gathering as exclusionary, divisive and unrepresentative.
We say that it is indeed highly regrettable and deeply disturbing that such a meeting was convened without the courtesy of inviting several state chairmen from the Southeast and the South-South, as well as the duly elected National Secretary of our great party, including the Deputy National Legal Advisor of our party, who is seated by my right. Even more troubling is the inexplicable exclusion of several national officers, eminent leaders, and critical stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party. For the avoidance of doubt, we categorically dismiss any resolution, any communique, or any outcome purportedly emanating from the said meeting.
At stake is not just who controls the party's structure ahead of the convention, but also the PDP's credibility as a viable opposition heading into the 2027 general elections. Will the PDP rise above factional battles, or is it marching toward yet another season of crisis? Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, I'm joined by PDP chieftain and elder statesman Chief Bode to help us unpack these burning questions. Chief Bode, thank you for joining us on the program. You were at the Lagos meeting today. Tell us what transpired there and if a decision was made as to the elective positions ahead of your national convention in November.
You know, I feel a little bit very disturbed when I saw the minority leader in the House making this statement. Very disturbing. And I want to appeal to all and sundry to sheath their sword and be very, very calm. Now, the meeting held today was purely consultative. The report of the zoning committee will be delivered to the NEC next week, Monday. Now, if most of those people there today, like he read out those who are to be there, like the man who led this conference, the one who just spoke with you, the minority leader from the House, he was supposed to be there because he's from the South. I don't know what happened, why he didn't come. And, you know, the state governors, I mean, most of the state chairmen, not informed. It's a consultative thing. It's not a fixated meeting. It doesn't mean that they will not have their own input into this convention. And the decision, whatever they arrive at, because consultation means consulting various groups to see their thinking. It has nothing to do with the finality of their report.
But what the minority leader is saying, Chief Judge, yes, is that he described the process as secretive and likely to cause problems within the PDP. How do you respond to that?
This is why I completely disagree with him. Look, let these people be very gentle. We're at a critical crossroad. We are heading for the national convention. We cannot, the people seated today showed a representation, complete representation of the colors of the South. And if it didn't come, it doesn't mean that whatever they suggested there that he can still not make the suggestion. He is also a member of the caucus, and we're having a caucus meeting on Sunday. And at that caucus meeting, they will present their findings, and we will discuss this at caucus, at the Board of Trustees, and then at NEC meeting. Nobody is telling you cannot be part of this, you are not. Whatever what we discussed today were suggestions that will be further extracted into the system. Let them just, like they say in Hausa, kadankada, like they say in Igbo, wayo, in Yoruba, etejejeo. It's very, very disturbing to, I'm 80 years old. Why should I be toying and be attending meetings? All we are saying is we want to have a solid party, party that is the real political iroko tree in this country. And unless you go through this, these people just go, they make the noise and it's not right. He is a member, I know for sure. The fellow who read that statement, he's a member of the caucus.
It sounds like
on Sunday night.
Yes,
and
Chief George.
BOT, yes.
It sounds like you're saying that the Lagos meeting wasn't deliberately structured in a way to sideline some voices in the voice, and that the consultation held today is not in a finality, that the conversation is still ongoing. But the elective national convention in November, we understand, will decide who leads the PDP into 2027. Given what appears the crisis over zoning, where does the South stand on producing either the party chairman or the presidential candidate?
Listen, let me take you back into the history. The founding fathers decided that the best way to remove the issue that collapsed the First Republic, collapsed the Second Republic, was as a result of majority tribes always winning election and minority tribes just onlookers. They divided Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones and came up with 6 top positions in the land. The president, the vice president, the Senate president, the speaker, the secretary to the government, and the national chairman. 6 positions, 6 zones. And of course, our constitution, section 7, subsection 3C, states equivocally that there must be zoning and rotation of both party offices and elective offices for purposes of justice, fairness, and equity. That is why they set up a zoning committee. That zoning committee, until it reports to the NWC, who will bring their report for discussion at NEC, it's of no use. But he can consult here, they are going around. So nobody is zoned out or is the crisis. Don't let them make it look like every time there is crisis, before, in my time, we had a national leader. And all this would have been taken care of. But right now, there's no president in PDP. So everybody sees that, I must do this, whatever they said there will be taken cognizance in the final resolution before they submit their report for approval.
But some argue
they were not zoned out. They are not zoned out. They are still.
I hear you clearly.
Yeah,
but
he said it. He said it. The chairman of the zoning committee said the people who are invited, the governors,
yes,
except Oshun, who just came back this morning and sent his apology. Enugu, who should have been there, sent his deputy. So all the governors in the South were present. Now,
Chief Bode, George, that some argue that the PDP hasn't resolved its long-standing North-South rift since 2022, which affected Atiku Abubakar's candidacy. What lessons has the party really learned, and how can this zoning we're talking about be handled differently this time to avoid another implosion?
It cannot happen. and it will never happen. The zoning we are talking about, whatever is zoned to the north remains in the north for the next 4 years. Whatever is zoned to the south remains in the south for the next 4 years. All we are doing is micro-zoning. In other words, positions in the southwest, do we want to retain them or do you want to change them? The positions given to the southeast, do you want to retain them or take some other positions? The same in the south-south. So those three zones, sub-zones, are the ones we are considering. Has nothing to do. The northern zone, they are going to have their own. All positions remain the same until the next election, not this coming election, in another 4 years. So I don't see what is so sacrosanct about this zoning thing. Most of those people you see there, they are all members. All the state chairmen are members of NEC. Decisions have not been made, but I can tell you that all the positions that are already in the northern zone will remain in the northern zone. All positions in the south will remain in the south. There is no crossing between north and south for now. So the next presidential candidate must still come from the south. And the national chairman of the party must come from the north. So let them not confuse Nigerians. We are the custodian. We were the next to the founding fathers. We knew how we did it. Because they manipulated the zoning at that time, because Buhari had just finished being president. And Atiku jumped in, manipulated the Congress, and then ended up in fiasco. 8 years in the north, 8 years in the south. So all the positions that are presently held remain in their zones until the next 4 years.
Chief Judge, I don't know if you are quite sure of the solidarity behind this position amongst all the critical stakeholders, but let us hold that thought for a minute. We're going to be right back after the short break. Stay with us, everyone.